Well, hello. My name is Eric Hansen. I hope you're doing well. Better than me, anyway. My goodness, I just got over this terrible cold. And so I'm hoping that I can make it through this video without coughing too much. We'll see what happens. All right, let me get bundled up. I got my pen. What I was hoping to do is look at the newspaper with you today. Okay, so we have the newspaper. I don't do this often. But when I do, I like to think, what's going on, you know? And you may be the same. You may find yourself that you're a person who thinks deeply and critically about things, and you, like myself, may have in recent years begun researching the news and researching history in a new, passionate way as part of your interest and care about life, the life of the children around you. You may be motivated by a concern for culture and society and helping people. Pacifism, that's the stuff that motivates me. And if you're familiar with my channel, you know that years ago I became aware of some real serious funny business going on around us where falsehoods and massive deceptions were being sold as real and accepted as real by many people. And so from that point, my reevaluation of history and current events has really been an exciting adventure. And so every once in a while, when I look at the newspaper, I find an article that's just a gem. And this one serves, I think, as a great little snapshot, as a microcosm of what's facing us or what we're confronting in our lives today, in 2019. What an exciting time to be alive. So I'm going to be reading from the Santa Barbara News Press, which came out Monday, February 11th, 2019. The article is called Armed with New Power, Democrats Push for Stricter Gun Laws, written by Joseph Axe for Reuters. All right, so the alarm bells should be going off. Right here, we see what a common theme within our discourse and the way that we interact with others is labels. And so there's Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, all that, okay? Names and all these identities which serve to create lines of us and them. And these people are right and these people are wrong, and I'm upset by these people, and all of that. Don't be distracted by that. Secondly, guns are going to be involved. So again, emotions are going to be quickly we're on edge here. I am terribly redundant about this point on this channel, and I'm going to make the point again. Myself and people like me are not prioritizing an interest in either guns or mass shooting events as focusing our research. They just so happen to be very easy to research and be found as false. There are much more important issues, I think, from history and current events that once you understand, a fabricated, made-for-TV story can be sold as real and accepted as real. In this little event, a mass shooting event, then your curiosity begins to draw you into other larger, more important ideas to research. That being said, it's an easy way to get into the game. I got into it through Sandy Hook, and many other people did too. Um, I have no interest in guns either way, or mass shootings in particular. It just serves as an example. Let's jump in. So Joseph Axe writes that Democrats are emboldened, quote, confident that public opinion is on their side a year after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, end quote. So what we are talking about when we discuss these mass shootings, sometimes there's ideas of terror. Oh, the Boston Marathon bombing, 9/11, the shoe bomber, the underwear bomber, the Brussels airport bombing. All of these fictional events, what they're doing, even though they are fictional, they do operate as terrorism. Some people call it synthetic terror, and what it does is it sways public opinion. It is a way of manufacturing consent, a way of orchestrating a ethos or a zeitgeist amongst people. So yes, many people have had their interest piqued by the reports of these mass shootings, and they're electing people on the basis of these things and supporting legislation on the basis of these misunderstandings. Quote, in Colorado, Tom Sullivan spent years urging lawmakers to tackle gun violence after his 27-year-old son Alex was killed in the 2012 movie theater shooting there. Now, Mr. Sullivan is helping write those bills after winning a state assembly seat. End quote. So here we have a fellow who participated in the project of the Aurora Batman shooting event, where his son did not die in that movie theater. I think it would take a great deal of naivete for us to believe that Tom Sullivan is mistaken about this, that his son just disappeared into a type of witness protection program, never contacted his father, never alerted his father. Oh, I didn't shoot. I wasn't shot here. I'm still alive. It would take a great deal of naivete upon us to believe that Tom Sullivan, out of great interest in the event, would not do the same type of research which I have done or anyone else has done and said, something is wrong here. What's going on? So, I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan is in on it. What we see is many people do benefit from their participation in these events. We see people like Lori Alhadeff from the Parkland shooting, whose daughter Alyssa is alleged to have been killed there. She was elected to the local school board. Even more egregious, in my opinion, we have the instance of Mr. Chris Hurst, whose girlfriend, Allison Parker, was shot in the on-air shooting of WDBJ. He was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates. So, and why do I say that's even more egregious? Well, the WDBJ shooting live on air is very simple. You watch the video and you see that it is a toy gun being shot. It's not a functioning firearm in the video. It's beside the point. Anyway, So you see, there's many people who become involved in these things, and some type of ambition is involved typically, and sometimes their benefit is being elected to positions of leadership. Okay, so here we have um, another quote. Polls show Americans favor tougher gun laws after decades of mass shootings, including the February 14th, 2018 massacre at Florida's Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. End quote. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And believe you me, we're going to see a bunch of, you know, 1 year later, a retrospective. Where are they now? Where's the Never Again movement? Where are the students from Marjory Stoneman Douglas? And again, no one was shot or killed in that event either. And we have Sully Today, which should have good memories and connotations for people, aside from the commercialism and all the stress for people in relationships, and you have to go and spend money you don't have for the person you love. But it's a day of love. And now it's sullied with this falsehood of Marjory Stoneman Douglas. Again, polls show. People have been swayed. People are shocked by the events. By, it says, decades of mass shootings. Well, they actually have gone on since the 50s. The first, this is for you trivia buffs out there. The first quote-unquote mass shooting in America was in Camden, New Jersey. A guy named Howard Unruh in the Walk of Death. Didn't happen, interestingly enough. But it started that long ago. Okay? So yeah, it's been decades. It's been 6 decades, 7 decades of this same nonsense. And I'm begging you, I'm gonna just, as an aside, take your time to research anything I'm saying. It's not difficult to do. I've done another video on my channel on ideas on how to begin researching these things. Anyway, let's move forward. I'm getting bogged down. So he goes on, later on, he makes reference to the 2012 school shooting at Newtown, Connecticut, Sandy Hook. And that was the one that got me and got a lot of people started on this. We have a quote here from the controlled opposition. Get ready, this is going to be fun. Quote, "We continue to defeat gun control legislation across the country while passing gun rights legislation," said NRA spokeswoman Jennifer Baker. So you have this idea of all these crises and absolute madness occurring. And very sensible people are saying, "Whoa, we need to do something. Can't we do something?" And then you have the controlled opposition of the NRA standing up, saying, "Oh, the Second Amendment. Oh, we gotta protect the gun rights." Now, what I want to emphasize here is that this whole debate, again, is a contrived, nonsensical conversation based on falsehood. No matter where you stand about guns, no matter how you feel about violence in America, you have to decide, I'm going to put the microscope under any one of these events that I'm talking about. Invest yourself into knowing the details and the people involved in these things. You will discover for yourself that many mass shootings, many alleged police shootings, many terror events, etc., do not occur. that will change the way you think about things. Let me tell you, believe you me. Suddenly, the Second Amendment, you're thinking, wait a minute, whoa, there's no rule of law. There's not a really functioning democracy. Oh boy, then you go off on the rabbit trail. Then you start wearing hats like this. Right? Okay. So, quote, says Joseph Axe, quote, in Nevada, where the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history occurred at a 2017 music festival in Las Vegas, Democratic leaders have vowed to implement background checks approved by voters in a 2016 referendum. Okay, another reference to a faked event where no one was shot or killed. Quote, perhaps no state better encapsulates the political volatility around guns than Colorado, which has both a deep tradition of gun ownership and a history of mass shootings, including the 1999 Columbine school massacre and the Aurora movie theater killings. End quote. Okay, so now we have another. We already talked about Aurora in the beginning with Tom Sullivan and his son Alex, and now we're being reminded of 1999 Columbine, an event where no one was shot or killed. Quote, John Morse, the ousted Senate leader, said Democrats should be even more aggressive now in passing gun laws. Said John Morse, the country is starting to get that the gun lobby has no interest whatsoever in any kind of common sense things. End quote. Well, you're right, John Morse. I am very interested. In fact, I ponder this more often than I should. How is it that we have groups of veterans? How do we have patriots of any stripe? How do we have the 2A community who are interested in guns? How do we have police unions and fraternities of police sitting here in the midst of all this ridiculousness and not speaking up about it? The gun lobby has no interest in any sort of common sense things. Well, it seems that there's a huge culture of silence, apathy, or fear of even addressing these things by a bunch of people. And it's very unfortunate. And here we go. This is down to you now. It's the new pacifist movement. We're the people who care about these things. We care about the reality of what's occurring around us. Not that we want any sort of type gun laws, X, Y, or Z. We want to create a culture of love, compassion, and honesty. I think that's possible. I think that's possible. I really do. I'm interested to hear your feedback. What do you think about it? Well, you can let me know. I'm always here. And so he closes the article, quote, Alec Garnett, the State Assembly Democratic Majority Leader of Colorado, says, quote, what I've learned in this business is there's no clear path for anything. Yes, Alec Garnett, I agree. There is no clear path forward. I don't have any prescriptive ideas of what we should do or should be doing. I think that's something that we'll all work together on. Once we understand no airplanes were involved in 9/11, no hijackings, no crashes, no Muslim terrorists. Once we understand that there are many, many ideas accepted as fact within our culture, which are baseless. Once we separate that wheat from the chaff, wheat from the chaff? I know all the wheat farmers right now are like, it's pronounced chaff. So once we do that, then we can narrow our focus on what's really going on and what are the steps forward that we want to take. It's a difficult process. Thank you for listening. I am so encouraged by you, and if you have any ideas, any input, suggestions, critiques, criticisms, corrections, let me know. I'm here for you. Thanks for listening.